Welcome to another Coaching Wisdom podcast today with Sandra D'Angelo. She is a certified professional coach. Her company is called Approach Your Coach, so she is founder and CEO at that. Sandra, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a bit more about yourself and your company.
Yes, hello. Thank you for having me here. I'm happy to be here with you. So as you've introduced me, I'm a certified career coach. I have been running my coaching business for the past a bit over 4 years. And what I do is I coach millennials to create careers they love. You know, when you say like, I love what I do, that's what I help my clients create for themselves.
Why millennials?
I'm one of them. So I understand obviously the generation better than maybe other generations. And just because I've been in a similar situation some years ago, you know, where I came to the point where I started asking myself, is this what I want to do? Or how can I create more impact? And I want to really help others do the same. That's what I do with my clients.
And how are millennials different from previous generations? What are they looking for in their career?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say it's harder for them to settle at if ever. And I think it's more what I see a lot from my work. It's a lot of the questioning, right? Is this exactly what I want to do? Or what is my purpose? How can I create more impact? I'm not saying that obviously other generations don't ask themselves those questions, but I'm commenting based on my experience and work, right? So it's really important for them to be in a work environment or create work that really they can feel like that it impacts other people, that they can tangibly see the results really they create. I would say this is really the biggest difference I've seen.
Do they like working for themselves also?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, obviously, you know, working for yourself, as you know, as I know, it's definitely a big challenge, and of course, not everyone wants to work for themselves, and that's totally okay. But we are seeing more and more people turning in that direction, really opening their own businesses. Is it in freelancing, selling different services, or creating different products? And it's always amazing because each of us is creative in their own way, right? Has so many ideas. And it's definitely one big part of the work I do as well. So I predominantly work with millennials who are, let's say, in a specific company and they're looking to up level, is it get promoted or change maybe the position or find a new job or open their business. And then I help them to set up the foundation, right? The ground for solid business, really.
And when you work with them, so how do you outreach to them? So how do you get in touch with them? And
Mhm.
how long is the contract? And what is the payout for you?
Right. So I would say that most of my clients come from LinkedIn. I have quite of a network on LinkedIn and I love that platform very, very much. I'm very active there myself too. So that will be one of the biggest, how can I say, you know, ways. Then the other ways would be referrals, right? So is it from my past clients or is it from my network or is it from my friends? So these are the two main things. I that's basically all I really do for marketing. LinkedIn and a bit of Instagram, but LinkedIn is where you will find me. And we work for 12 sessions. We meet once per week, and then in between sessions, my clients have access to me as well. That's usually via Voxer. So any questions, any concerns, any celebrations, I like to be a part of their journey all the time, rather than just 1 hour per week.
And then what do you charge for that? Is it like a price on results? Is it hourly? Is it a package?
It's a package. So the price for the package of 12 sessions is 2,000 euros. That would be a roughly, I think, $2,200 more or less. And that's a one-time payment. And as I mentioned, the one-on-one coaching is included in that, the written document after each session and an ongoing support.
Why did you decide to start your business?
Well, in short lines, that has always been my goal. I'm coming from a family of entrepreneurs. Both of my parents, they had their own businesses, so I grew up in that setting. It was normal for me to kind of look at two people that are obviously my parents, kind of how can I say, it was normal for me, really. But I knew that I didn't want to do what my parents did. That was one of the things. I've always been interested in human brain and behavior and why people have, behaving in different ways and thinking and so forth. So I knew I wanted to do something mind related. And I knew I wanted to open my company, but I didn't know what exactly that was. So I wanted to go out there, gain experience. I used to work in education and then in recruitment, and then naturally came to what I'm doing today. After I learned about coaching, or that was what I wanted to do after I hired my own coach around 7 years ago, and I was like, okay, that's it. And then that's how it started, really.
And do you think entrepreneurship is for everyone?
Well, I think it's hard to generalize, like everything. It really depends on, it can be if you have a good reason. I think that's it, right? If you think it's a quick way to get rich, that would probably be not the best reason. Or if you think it's easy, or if you think that you can work when you want to, and maybe this would be kind of a bit wrong perceptions of it. I think it comes down to why you want to open your own business. And if you have a solid reason behind that, then yes, it can be for everyone.
Right. And it's just that I'm wondering if millennials, in their case, they're like more apt to start businesses than their predecessors. There's like two questions to that, because the times have changed since COVID. Everything is more online, and millennials, they're technology adapted. They're more interested in working from home and having that freedom. Yet all that technology also brings easiness, and I feel we have less grit than, let's say, boomers or prior to boomers, folks that actually went to war, and lived a harder life. So with these micro trends and these factors, do you still think they can be more successful, or is it some kind of hybrid type of deal where they actually work at their job during the day and they come back and work on their side hustle in the evenings?
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes down to really this financial security. And obviously, some people can just quit their job and open their business. For some, that would mean working full time and then building your business until you come to the point where you can finance yourself. I mean, we all need to live from something, right? And I think money is obviously the big factor there. And then another thing that I see a lot is that maybe they even have a kind of an idea, but making this decision and really sticking with the decision is something where you need that push to really make it happen. And with that being said, I think it's very important to, if you have this idea on your mind and you have been entertaining it for some time, surround yourself with a few people who either have done it or are really strong believers in you and can support you in realizing that. So I think it's really making this jump. And then once you've done it, I mean, go all in, really. You have your own back. It's one of the things that I hear a lot is like, I'm afraid of a risk. What if? But we live in a world today that you can get fired tomorrow, right? So there is no security per se doesn't really exist. And I think that running your own business, as much as obviously it's risky and so forth, at the end of the day, you are fully in charge of what is happening, right? And the results you create. So in a way, I see it as kind of even less risky because you depend only on you. Whereas, depending on a company and if they will do a cut tomorrow, right? I hope that makes sense. Right.
It does. Yeah. But many people don't understand that, I think they prefer the short-term easiness of just getting a salary and getting tube fed, even if that means, waiting like for 2 to 3 weeks. While entrepreneurship nowadays, you can get paid tomorrow if you make a sale today. It's just, like people, they're willing to take that sacrifice. And I feel, which leads to my next question with AI, that it's not going to be pretty. AI is growing pretty fast. The quality of it is better than most humans. already, on just that it cannot act on your behalf yet. Some of it can, by the way, it's being deployed as we speak. So how do you think AI will impact these newer generations?
Well, the way I see it, yeah, is, AI is all amazing and obviously beneficial and valuable. But as long as it's or as long as you use it as an extra resource rather than for me to replace my brain, you know what I mean? Like, if you have a question before going there and just asking AI and getting a quick solution, why not stop and think for yourself first and then use it as an extra additional resource to gain some knowledge? And because it's so easy, a lot of us, right? It's just faster and easier to do, 3 clicks done, rather than spend some time thinking. So I think that's the biggest problem we will probably see very soon, if not already, even laziness of doing your job yourself and depending on artificial intelligence to do it, or do thinking for you, and like everything, really, every tool, social media, everything, as long as you use it in the right way as an extra rather than replacement for you, I think it can be useful, yes. But I'm afraid that's not the main point of all these developments today.
Because I was about to make a comparison. Have we got dumber since we have the calculator? Now the calculator is not really the same because AI is probably 10 to 100x more useful. But I still think the same principles apply there, meaning that we outsource that part to AI, and us humans, we become better and greater at other things.
Yeah. Again, that's not an excuse not to learn a certain way, a certain, thing or topic. You don't have to become an expert at something, but at least have a generic understanding of it. It's not an excuse, especially in today where we have so much information available to us all the time. An excuse like I didn't know or I don't know where to look for, it's absolutely like, you cannot say that. It just doesn't. Yeah.
I use AI quite a lot to learn, so it's quite useful on that level. Maybe, just check the quality of the answers that the GPT answers you, so that you make sure that your brain can still grow in the process. And laziness in pretty much any field is toxic. Just that, there's always that effect, that equilibrium between laziness and effectiveness. I mean, you can go in like probably 80, even 70% on that side, but at some point it becomes pure laziness, and that is somewhat pervasive. So thank you for sharing that. What are your goals for the rest of this year?
Yeah, so there to fill up my coaching practice in terms of one-on-ones, because I work with one-on-one clients and also with corporations. So to fill that up and to potentially launch the group coaching as of the start of the next year. And apart from them, do some traveling, take some holidays, because as an entrepreneur, you don't really take holidays, even though some might think that you take them all the time. And that's really about that. Not super exciting even.
That's okay. Doesn't need to be, as long as it's aligned with you and your family and your community. By the way, what brought you in Iceland again?
Yeah, love.
Yeah,
love.
that's right.
Yeah.
Love is so powerful. It brought me to Mexico.
Yeah, you see, usually when somebody finds out that I live in Iceland, they're like, Iceland, why?
Your husband is cold for bringing you there.
Yeah, that's why we mesh so good. He's cold and I'm like fire, so it's perfect. Ice and fire, it's like perfect.
Yeah. But apparently it's a very nice place. Where can people find out more about you, Sandra?
Yeah, so I would invite them to check my website. So that's approachyourcoach.com. And then if you scroll to the bottom of my website, you're going to find the link to my LinkedIn profile and my Instagram profile. And yeah, happy to connect and have a chat.
There you go. And I am Charles Cormier, host of CEOWisdomPodcast.com. If you want to start, scale, or be invited to a podcast, that is podfire.com.